Hello, math students. Welcome back to our module on percents and proportional relationships. And this lesson is called Finding 100% Given Another Percent. Our goal for today we will find the whole when given the quantity. The question that I want you to think about in this lesson is, what method could be used to find a missing part? So what you need to know about this lesson is that they are going to give you a percent, but it is not going to be 100%. It is going to be a different percent, and your job is to figure out what is the numerical value that 100% represents. So basically, you're finding the whole. You can, in the things to know section, you can use a combination of the double number line and a tape diagram to determine the missing information. This is called a modified double number line. So we have a regular number line right here, and the number line shows the percentages, and then the tape diagram, the reason why they're combining the tape diagram with the number line is to be able to put the data inside the tape, and then all of the sections of the tape line up with the sections of the number line, and so that's how you can visually see what it would be. Then you can compare to see what the missing information would be. All right, so let's try it out. A tank that is 40% full contains 648 gallons of water. What is the maximum capacity of the tank? So that was the first read. The first read, we're talking about a water tank and how much water it can hold. A tank that is 40% full contains 648 gallons of water. So a quantity that I think is important is 40%. Another quantity that I think is important is 648 gallons. What is the maximum capacity of the tank? Maximum capacity means when it's full. So how much will it hold when it's full? All right, so basically what they're asking us to do is to tell us what would be the total number of gallons that the tank has at 100%. First, it says identify the parts of the word problems. So the quantity, if we're using our information correctly, the quantity is a result of taking a percent times the whole, and that gives us the quantity. So the quantity for this one is, it says 40% of a tank is 648 gallons. So the quantity is 648 gallons, okay? Then the next part, because it says identify the parts of the word problem, so the next part that we were given is the percent is 40%, so we know that, and then the whole is what we're trying to find, so I am going to use W because I'm using a variable for what we don't know. Now it says make a modified double number line. All right, so we have one right here, modified double number line, and then it says determine the best way to determine the whole. So if we have a modified double number line, then I would say right here is 0%, right? And then it says that we know 40%. So for me, what I would like to do is count by 20s. So this is 20%, here is 40%, 60%, 80%, and then this one has to be 100%. And if you look at the tape, that would work because there are 5 sections of the tape. Then I know where 20% would be. That would be this section. 40% would be both sections. 30% would be all 3 sections. 4 sections would be 80%, and all 5 sections would represent 100%, which is the whole. Well, we also know that it says a tank that is 40% full contains 648. So 40% happens to be up to here. So I know from here to here, it is 648 gallons. So if I know that these 2 sections right here represent 648, then my next step would be to take 648 and divide it by 2, and when I get that, I get an answer of 324, okay? And so now I know that 324 goes in each section, so 324, 324, 324, 324, and 324, okay? So that's all of the sections of my tape, and they all have 324 in them. And now, because I was able to figure out the size of each shape, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so all I have to do is take 324 times 5, and I get 1,620 gallons. So now I have determined that 100%, which is the whole, which equals 1,620 gallons of water. And now you figured out your missing information, okay? So it's kind of cool the way that the number line helps you see on the tape where you're working, and it kind of lays it out really nice, okay? So again, do you have to do it this way? No, it's just another visual way that makes the whole process easier for you to understand, okay? All right, so now the last thing is there's one more problem that we want to try and do to make sure that you guys have full understanding of this process. So here's another. Loretta bought 420 apples that she picked. So let me read that again. Loretta brought 420 apples that she picked. Her grandfather said that is only 35% of the total. What is the total number of apples? Okay, so this story problem, if we're using our 3 reads process, this is a story about a girl who brought apples that she picked to her grandfather. All right, let's read it again. Loretta brought 420 apples, that's a quantity, so I'm going to underline it, that she picked. Her grandfather said that is only 35% of the total. What is the total number of apples? Okay, so we're trying to figure out the total. Loretta brought 420 apples that she picked. Her grandfather said that is only 35% of the total. What is the total number of apples? So we're trying to figure out the total number of apples. All right, so if we remember, we have this really nice equation, quantity equals percent times whole. We know that the quantity that she's bringing right here, quantity, is 420. So 420 goes right here, right? And then it says that Grandpa says this number right here is only 35% of the whole. So now we know what part we're looking for. The missing part that we're looking for is the whole. And since this is at 35%, my number line is going to count by 5s because 35 goes into, or 5 goes into 35 evenly. So I'm going to start at 0, and then I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, I have to keep going, 95, 100. So 100 would sit all the way over here. 0 would sit right here. Okay, so now I have it spread out. Sorry that I stuck my number in there. And then we're going to use a tape to represent it. So in my tape is going to be as long as my number line, right? Because that's how we do a modified number line. And then each section is going to match the number line so that my counting represents what I need. So line up those flash marks under the spot where they're supposed to go based on the counting, right? Keep lining them up, and then that one would be at 100%, okay? So it says that at 35%, so this is 0, 5, 10, so we'll put 10 here, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then 35 has to be right here, yeah? So at 35%, this sectioned amount, because that's at 35%, represents 420 apples. So if I know that this small section is represented at 420 apples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then I know I need to take 420 and divide it by 7 sections. And 7 goes into 42 6 times. 7 goes into 0 times. And now I know that each section all the way across has to have 60 in it. So I'm putting 60 in each section because that's what I'm using the modified double number line, which is really helpful for us to see what's going on. That's a lot of 60s. That's a lot of apples. And grandfather is right. That's a lot of apples. So now let's count what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. there are 20 60s. So I have 0, 0, placeholder 0, 12, add them all together, and I get a total of 1,200 apples equals 100%, which equals the whole, which was the missing part. Okay? So it's really not that difficult as long as you understand the steps and the techniques and the tools that you have. Okay? So using the 3 reads to figure out the problem, to identify the quantities, figuring out what the problem is asking, using your modified double number line where the number line above it represents the percentages, the tape diagram below it is where you actually write the data in, and then you can determine whatever piece is missing from what you're trying to do. All right? So let's go back to our goal. Our goal for today we will find the whole when given the quantity. That's exactly what we did because the missing part was the whole. What method can be used to find the missing part? Well, for me, as you just saw, the method that I love the most is the combination of a double number line with a tape diagram. So it's called a modified double number line. All right? Okay, kiddos, that's all I have for you in this lesson. Talk to you soon. Bye!